What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the March 10th episode of Partner First, where we talk to thought leaders, subject matter experts, vendors of note, and other fine topics that you should be aware of in the MSP community. As always, we're going to be live in the chat. We're going to be talking to our favorite OIT family, and we're going to be joined, as usual, by really awesome people. And today is like no other. Speaking of awesome people, we have Mr. Dave Goldie of Gradient MSP with us today. Dave, how you doing, buddy?
Doing awesome, buddy. You and I were hanging out not too long ago. I think you helped me just sort of build my supply here at the Tech Bar event.
I still have my fistful of bourbon not too far away. I mean, you can't work in the MSP space without having proper tools with you, right?
We learned a lot during that Tech Bar. Seriously, I did go test that Ghostbusters theory, and I think we were correct. 4.5 is about the sweet spot, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
My wife is
Absolutely. And
not
if you guys
happy.
don't know, if you guys don't know, we're talking about the Dave and Colin and Ash were on Tech Bar with us last episode. Please go check it out. It was absolutely a ball laughs, tons of fun. But
So
this
much
one's
fun.
slightly more serious. I say that, slightly. This time we're talking about billing and how much fun everybody loves billing. We just had first of the month not too long ago. And, I mean, I've never heard anybody complain about billing and how easy it is,
Never.
right? I mean,
No way. Yeah. Well, we don't even need to talk anymore, right? Billing? It's
yeah,
easy.
yeah,
We love
exactly.
it.
I, and so why don't you go over real quick? You do have a full presentation before we get into that. OIT family, I see you already in the chat. Very good to have you. Hey, Ashley. We are recording this. It is live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and all the fun places. The recording is available immediately after, so you can go in case you missed anything. It's there. But this is interaction. It's interactive. It's not death by PowerPoint. We absolutely want to hear you. We're going to answer
Engage.
questions live,
Engage.
so feel free to interject there if you want, and we'll address it as we can. But why don't you tell us what's this gradient thing? I've heard you guys are literally everywhere. You're bringing on industry heavy hitters. The team's growing like
Thank you.
you add like 100 people like every day or something like that. It's like Avengers, like Endgame, right?
I love how you turned us into Avengers. Look at the Tech Bar recording. It's hysterically funny what
Yes.
you guys are doing. You guys are the swag kings. What are you talking about? We just bring massages. You guys bring the coolest swag in the channel. Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Phil's catching up, man.
who's Gradient? That's a good question. I think that we're still figuring it out. We launched a year ago, and we launched to help serve MSPs. We've got some experience with MSPs, and so yeah, Gradient really just wanted to serve the market, in particular MSPs, something of value. And I think this should be more aptly named like story time with Ray and Goldie, because we've got a lot of stories to share today. But yeah, I think I want people to just reflect on the statement. I don't know if you can see my screen or not, but delivering IT service is hard enough. Running your MSP business shouldn't be. So, Ray, how do you feel about that statement?
I mean, it's true, right? Like that's the thing. Like I say all the time, if I had to start an MSP again today, I wouldn't. No, I'm kidding. It's MSP's hard.
I wouldn't.
You have yeah. No, my hat's off. My hat's off to those who do it today. It is hard. Forget the liability, forget the security, forget the clients that are on you, demand you at their beck and call, and they want to listen to you about as much as you want to listen to your dentist saying no more sweets, and then they give you their sugar lollipop at the end, which sucks. It's not the same, but like it's hard. And then you have the administrative, right? The billing is hard, you know. So yeah, but it shouldn't be, right? It should be. I think at our core, we all got into tech because we really love tech, or we love helping people. I've never met an MSP that doesn't like helping people, at least in the
Yeah.
beginning. They gotta beat that out of you at some point. But you
No, it's
know,
service,
it,
right? It's a service industry. It's serving
yes,
people. It's helping people. It's solving problems. It's helping mostly small businesses to grow, right? And hopefully
right.
it doesn't have to be as hard as it is, but it's freaking hard, man. That's what we've heard.
It really
And then I've
is.
heard stories like MSP saying things like, I haven't took a salary out of my business in 4 years, or I'm going to maybe take out 50K this year because, you know, might get a divorce because of the money pressure. And it's just like, no way, man. That's
Well,
not
and
how it's got to be.
you got to keep up with vendor change, and then unfortunately, MSP is death by a thousand cuts, right? It's not one thing here or there. You have tons of tools, you have tons of deliverables, you have tons of subscriptions. Every MSP across the planet had the NCE stuff, that Microsoft only
So
changed
true.
direction 14 times in the last 72 hours.
So we're
I
making it
still don't have
easier.
my
Vendors out there are making it easier, right?
right. It's and I feel bad because, like, as much as the distributors are trying to keep up, even they're like behind because Microsoft's changing stuff, and Microsoft's not the only one. It's a lot of vendors make these, throw these curveballs, and they make it really hard for MSPs. So
Yeah.
how do
I
we
don't have
fix
time
that?
for my family. I'm not making enough money.
Right.
Yeah. And then you said death by a thousand cuts, which I say too, but then people call me out and they're like, dude, that's morbid. And it's also death by a thousand clicks, not cuts. Which is so true, right? Well, it's sort of like, who the heck is this guy? What's he talking about? So, yeah, I got a story that I can share for sure, but maybe I'll try to
Yeah.
weave it into. Is there music in the background? They put hype
That was my
music.
cell phone because they tell you mute your stuff, and of course I didn't.
But
So,
look in the
my
top
bad.
corner. There's supposedly some audio. I don't even know what's happening. There's supposed to be some entry music for me to hype, man.
I
But
mean,
heck yeah.
Simon will come in. Yeah. Simon will come in and start, like, come on, Simon, you got this, dude. He's dancing in
There's no music. I don't know if you guys can
what was
hear
that,
this.
Simon? Can you
I
there
gotta
you
hit him
go.
with the dance moves.
What was that dance move, too? I'm not known for
You,
dancing, that's for sure. What I am
you
known
got your
for.
background dancers, dude. So I don't know how. I know you do a lot of events. I don't know how many others you have background dancers. So
Yeah,
we at
there's
least got
lots.
that done.
There's lots. Like recently, internally, we're not all channel experts. We went out to market and said, let's hire the best of the best, no matter where. Obviously, we'll have to have some channel experts, so we'll talk more about that. But like this morning, they were like, "What does the channel do?" We don't know anything about the channel team. We do know that you are dancing monkeys out there on stages all over the world, but what else do you do? And I said, yeah, we're known to be talkers, but we're actually
Hmm.
listeners. Like if we're doing our job properly, we are listening, we're processing, and then most importantly, doing something about it. Because one thing I know about MSPs is they're sick of people saying that they're listening and then not doing anything about it. And I think
Hmm.
for me, I've been listening to MSPs for almost a decade now. I know how hard it is and how awesome it is to be an
It is.
MSP, and I really want to serve MSPs, something, some pain relief, some getting some time back for the things that are really worth it. Like, like what would you do with time given back to you, Ray?
I mean, I have this Rubik's cube that I say I'm going to solve at some point. And
I
every
won't.
TikTok I've ever seen tells me I could do it in 4 seconds. So I'm sure I can. Um,
I can't do it in 4 years, right? Like, what you need to know about me is I'm a husband, I'm a dad. That's what's most important to me. Alexander's 4.5, Olivia's 19 months. I know that if I'm given time back, I know where it's worth spending. So yeah, I've been around the MSP game, the channel, for almost a decade. It was such a great experience because when I first came into the channel, like most people, I had no idea what the channel was. I had no idea what an MSP was. And just through having conversations with all the amazing people that we have in this awesome community, I just learned. I just asked questions. What's an MSP is a good starting point. Like, what is that? And what do MSPs do? So, yeah, I feel like now I've got kind of my master's degree in MSP, but back in the day, there were three young men, Colin and Mike and Ryan, our three founders at Gradient. They founded a little MSP that they would say, is it, Colin says, it's not that impressive. I think it's pretty impressive. They took this MSP Excel from 0 customers to 35 customers. They took it from 0 employees to 22 employees. They took it from $0 to 4 million in ARR. And I think through that experience, one, they became serial entrepreneurs. They became masters of discovery, masters of listening and doing things about what you're hearing. And one of the things that they heard was password management. It was like, if that one person, gets smoked by a bus, what the heck is going to happen, with all of our passwords, not to mention, obviously, with 22 employees within an MSP, there's that disparity of security, and the security risk increases. And it's just like, unmanageable, within an MSP. And then to manage all of the access password securities for all of your customers, even if it's 35 companies. What I found really impressive here is the endpoints, right? Like the average number of endpoints that they had, was 85.7 or 86 endpoints, per customer, which is, massive. So this seemingly small MSP, was doing some things right. And then they created Passportal. And that's really where, they took the learning that they had and the listening that they had, and they applied it to a solution that was really to help MSPs make their lives easier and manage the passwords in a more manageable, more secure way. That's kind of where I can weave in my story. You probably have heard a couple of stories about Colin.
I heard a bar story. I heard where you got confused with Colin. I've heard a few things. We've had our own times where we come across like I have to. I feel bad because I know Ashley Cooper, another one of the heavy hitters you guys brought onto the team, right? An absolutely amazing human being. I know she's been like the opposite of the antithesis of the hype person, sitting there and like terrifying you before before events. And I don't, here's what I don't get it, right? So like before Ash joined the team, we did an AMA. Like Colin and you had me do a live AMA asking about all these hard hitting questions I gathered from everywhere, including including Reddit, and you guys survived that and came out like awesome, like superstars. And I figure if you can survive that, like you're basically a superhero at this point.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I'm not considered a superhero typically in my personal or professional life, but I'll take that feedback. And I know you were giving it really to all of us, which is just awesome, right? But that
Ashley
AMA
she wants to know what she said. She's bringing up, what did she say before the event?
Before the Tech Bar event, you know what she said. She said, "You need to be scared." I said, "Why? I don't have any reason to be scared. This event is being promoted as a drinking event, which is one of the things I'm best at. What should I be afraid of?" So I think,
go ahead, man.
I was just going to say, there's kind of this history in the channel, which we align with, which, the channel is about solving problems, right? And then, I think that's really what fueled the founders to go and start Passportal and really solve that issue for MSPs. And then, that's definitely where I was introduced to Colin. And it was really introduced because I was at IT Glue at the time, and we were, just a lean, mean startup machine. And, we were also focused on helping MSPs with documentation and focused on process. And so I really got introduced to Passportal by listening to the community. And the community said, there's an amazing opportunity here for alignment and an integration through, a couple of tools that really serve this industry, very well. And we did go down that path at first of an integration. And then that did take a little bit of a turn where we ended up then competing. And so, in an environment where, it should be impossible for us to have respect and build relationship, we truly did. I think we both respected each other, and the relationship just grew from there. And the competition was fun. It was It was hard a little bit, you know. I'm from Canada. I pulled the shirt over a few heads and threw a couple punches. But, yeah.
I thought it was weird when, you know, Colin talked about you trying to stick him a couple times, and I was like, what is
Yeah,
this, you know, Canadian fighting?
I
Like,
got in the penalty box for a few moments, that's for sure. But yeah, I
I
mean,
just
we all
imagine two dudes with maple leafs doing like this, like at each
yeah.
other. You
Oh, I don't know if people know
like,
we're from Canada. I'm in Vancouver. Colin's in a place called Calgary, Alberta. It's beautiful. A lot of our employees are in Canada and a bunch in the US. And, you know, we're just looking to find the best of the best all over. And so, you know, you
speaking of
talked
your
about,
employees, I mean, look at this lineup here, man. This is,
yeah, this
you
is
know,
nothing. I'm sorry to offend the people that are on the screen here because this is everything, but it's also nothing. We can't even keep up with it, man. Like I need an update right now. I should probably go to Bamboo, but I'll just go to our website here. And this is probably starting to be more indicative of the team that you know, we're so humbly blessed to work with. It's just the absolute, you know, greatest gathering of humans who just really care about the world and making the world a better place. And, you know, it's very selfless. And there's a leadership team that, you know, we all challenge each other to consistently you know, be our best version of ourselves, selflessly for MSPs specifically, and to also figure out some ways, you know, where we can bring the channel together, working better together, you know, with then the selfish, you know, a theory of an outcome where all of us will share more money together, you know, and we'll be making the
and
money
and
that we're worth.
I gotta say this because you know, you have to talk to, and yes, you've been saying this, and you and Colin and everybody on that list there, right, has incredible credibility. But I gotta say, like, I talked to Colin about this, got to be 2 years ago. And you know, obviously, I knew of Colin, and you know, before because of the Pass Portal and other stuff. But like the way he described things, and the way you guys have both described things since of we're going to change the world, we're going to do like pr- prior to the AMA, I was like, these guys are full of it. Like this is so much fluff. This is so much BS. It's like,
Yes. We knew that risk. You and I talked about that before going public with you.
yeah.
You were like, dude, you don't want to talk about making the world a better place. You're just going to confuse the crap out of everybody, which I think in some ways we achieved that as well. You were right, right? Sorry.
But you know what though? Like, you know, after the MA, and I will say, like, whatchamacallit, I will say, like, you guys have been very consistent in the last, you know, in the time you've been around, in working toward the same goals to make things better, and you've been community first. And you know what, I'm absolutely good with that. That's fantastic. So, you know, I will retract my my skepticism. And let's be honest, the MSP industry has given us a lot to be skeptical about. Words are hard today. You know,
It's a trust
but
issue
you
in
guys
the
have held
industry,
your own.
right? It's a trust
Yeah,
issue in the
it
channel,
is.
you know, and it's not just based upon anecdotal, you know, trust issues. You know, it is backed up with experience and data where, you know, I can fully appreciate why there's a trust issue in the industry. And I think that's, you know, if we're going to have real partnerships, which are relationship first, then we got to focus on that trust issue first. So yeah, I appreciate that. I think we did create and continue to create some confusion in the market. So you were right there. But it, you know, it is all, this is the why, you know, that gets most of us up in the morning, right? And gets us working hard and making sacrifices of our time with our families and stuff like that. Is, you know, we know that MSPs make the world a better place.
And Drew says it right. Trust issue. Have you met me? Insert vendor here who invalidated my trust. You know,
Is he talking directly to me, or is there a general statement there? Because I can own some trust issues too. I can own some trust
no,
issues. We
right?
can talk
We've
about
all
that.
been there. We've all been the, you know, and I like you, you know, we when we talk to prospective partners, like, you know, it's funny because my sales team used to laugh at me because I'd get on a call and I have my way of doing things, right? Like you have your way of doing things. It's completely the antithesis practices of like what should be done, right? And I do the same thing, and I get on and I'm like, look, I know all sales is unicorns and rainbows, and it's all full of it. It's all wonderful until you sign on the dotted line, then everybody disappears like a magic trick.
That's
And
the
I go,
problem with
I
it,
fully
right?
accept it. I can't
That's
I
the
can't earn your
problem.
trust until you sign. I know that for a fact. I only start earning your trust after you sign. But I want you to know I'm aware of that. And just saying that out loud, like that earns a lot of trust a lot of times.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, I've been in sales for a few decades. I think we're all in sales, right? And so, I've read all the literature. I've gone to all of the different sales programs that I could, and a lot of it has to do with that close. How can we get to that close? And I think we forget in sales that you don't want to close every deal. There's some deals that you definitely don't want. I think MSPs could agree that there's some customers that you don't want every customer. Like so how do you discover in sales if
Mhm.
there's a partnership or a sale that even makes sense, and that just comes from asking questions. It doesn't come from talking about the value of your product or service. It doesn't come from jazz hands and everything's awesome and everything will continue and get more awesome. No, I mean, none of that matters if I don't know who you are and what's important to you, and if there is actual value there, or problems that we could be solving for you. So, it's funny, I don't actually have a formal sales education. I actually have a human resource education background. And I think that's probably what's made me so successful in sales, is just, for me, it's about asking questions. It's got nothing to do with closing a deal. The deal will close if it makes sense.
Yeah, that's a big difference, right? Like, usually you get a startup, and do you guys still qualify as a startup? It's been what, 2 years at this point? It still
I
counts,
have
right?
no idea. I think so. We definitely feel the pain of growth as a startup every day. That's for sure.
But usually you have these startups, and they'll hire a bunch of people, and there are a lot of, usually it's like very sales heavy, right? Very marketing heavy. And it's funny because every face you guys keep adding to your About Us, like I know these people. I know these people from talking to them in social groups. I know these people from talking to them in community. You got Tim Coach, one of the best beards in the industry. I mean,
Yes, he's
I
great.
mean, Ashley's so nice they made her twice, right? She was an AI bot for a little bit.
Oh no,
Um,
she doesn't want to talk about that.
so
Okay.
you have some amazing people, but they're all people that are in the community, and that goes, at least for me, who's the community champion guy, like that means a lot. That means you're listening to people, right? Or you're the greatest showman on the planet, and we're all getting like the wool pulled over our eyes. But either way, you're doing awesome. Yeah, and I
Oh,
got
well,
Simon talking about that dude has an awesome mustache. He's rivaling Juan there.
oh, look out. Yeah, there's more mustaches that have grown. Yes, I think, it was interesting for me when Colin approached me as having a very lengthy sales leadership career. And he said, I'd like you to join the organization. And I said, cool, what are we going to do? And he said, we're not going to do sales. So that was a very interesting introduction to Gradient. I was like, we're not going to have a sales org? No. We're not going to hire like any sales reps? No. Okay, well then what the heck do you want me for?
Right? It's like, what do I do here?
I'm still trying to figure it out, Ray, but don't tell anybody. We want them. We want
Yeah.
them right where we got them.
This is only live and recorded. I mean, nobody will ever find out. Don't worry about it.
Hi, Colin. He's probably on right now. Sorry, or you're welcome. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to get back to this statement. Would you agree with this statement, Ray? Like, do MSPs make the
I
world a better place?
so I am I'm a hopeful pragmatist, right? I believe in effort, and I absolutely believe you guys are making the efforts required to try to make things better. I believe that is absolutely the motivation behind you guys. Yes, absolutely. Um, you know, and that's all we can really do, right? Make the steps day by day to make it better. Have the conversations, identify the challenges, and provide solutions. And like
I
most MSPs that are service oriented, I think there is a group of good vendors, right? And if you want to know who they are, go watch our partner first. There's a
Yeah,
group of
good
vendors
call.
genuinely want to better the industry. And I definitely count you guys among that. So without a question.
Well, really appreciate that feedback, man. We always love your feedback. As I said on LinkedIn, you guys are always giving the great feedback and the positive stuff. We need that reinforcement. And then I also love in this partnership, you're open with us to be critical with us, to challenge us to be better. I see MSPs out there, and the majority are small businesses. The majority of them are serving small businesses. They love community. They're essential to the community. And so we truly believe that every day MSPs are making the world a better place, and we want to try to make the world a better place for MSPs, and so we're learning the best way to do that as we go. You had challenged us in a conversation recently to talk about, our first product, Tidy, and that's, in hibernation. We put that in hibernation in November when we launched our second product, Billable. And there was a lot of success with Tidy. It came from listening to MSPs and hearing that there was an opportunity to help them clean up their PSAs, and that could have some great impact. So we introduced that product. Hundreds of MSPs jumped on right away, and then we continued to listen, and we heard this, that MSPs are spending too much time on billing, and the survey said yes. So we had that theory, and then it was backed up with some data. And then we got to this point where we now go to market with this question, really. What if you never had to reconcile billing again? So tell me your first reaction to that.
Well, you know me. My first reaction to everything is BS. I mean,
I know you.
You know me long enough. But but not like BS. Like
that's BS.
Yes, but but how awesome would that be, right? Like we're talking like holy grail type stuff here. Like this is worthy of like Indiana Jones going to like pick out the right chalice kind of thing. Like if you never had to worry about like, and I look back at like just even 365 subscriptions, and remember I telco. I mean, our billing is bad. It is so bad. We do a lot of things to make it better, and that's why we're working with you guys on the. Are we allowed to talk about that? Are we allowed to? It's still early days.
Talk away, man. Talk about transparency. I think is how we're going to
had a conversation with I had a conversation with Andrea and Colin a little bit back, and with the program's Synthesize, right? That's the name of the integration program.
Yeah, so I'll get to that later because I don't want to cause any more confusion in the market. But yeah, Synthesize is on the vendor side, still in service to MSPs. But in listening to MSPs and in listening to vendors and having the experience as, an MSP, with the founders having Excel, and then also all the experience that we have on the vendor side, right? There's a way where the channel could work better together in service of MSPs, also in better serving partnerships between vendors and everybody, again, hopefully proving our theory correct that everybody will make more money together. But yeah, Synthesize is essentially the open API that we offer to any vendor for free that wants to integrate with Gradient's platform, and for the purpose of hopefully one day making this implied promise that we're making with this question, which is not a promise, but I understand the implication of the question could be an implied promise. And we do believe that there could be a day where, an MSP would never have to reconcile billing again. The only way that can happen is if everything is automated and working together. It's amazing, the product right now, with simple CSV drag and drop, there's a massive amount of elimination of the time and pain of this task, and there's amazing visibility. And we'll talk more about that in a bit. But if we truly want to deliver on this promise, we need to integrate with all of the products that an MSP resells to their customers or uses to serve their customers. Our first purpose was really to help the MSPs. There's so much automation on that service delivery side of things, but on internal business operations for an MSP, there's some automation, but there's a significant opportunity for more automation there, which was the really true spirit of Billable. But yeah, if we're gonna eliminate billing reconciliation and never have to do it again, then we've got to integrate with every product. I don't know, Ray, how many products would that be? A lot.
So actually, I know this one, right? I remember seeing what was it? Jay McBain put something out,
I
or
saw that
Dave
too.
Sobel, I can't remember who. There was something like 17 products per MSP that they're using to serve clients, and then plus more internal. I mean, that's a little
Oh, it's
nuts.
well, and then every MSP is not using the same products, and then you use that multiplier, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, we're actually talking about thousands upon thousands upon thousands of products that would need to integrate in order for us to deliver on this promise. Are we going to build an R&D team? We are building an insane R&D team. Are we going to be able to integrate with everything? No, but that's why we introduced Synthesize, because vendors said, we want to solve this. What we're hearing from our partners, if we're specializing in MFA or security or whatever product we're specializing in as a vendor, there's some challenges that we have. One, integrations to the PSAs distract our R&D resources. They pull our R&D resources into integrating with PSAs. And then also, we're trying to specialize in our specific area, whatever that might be. And so, yes, we hear from our partners that typically number 1, 2, or 3 on our feature request list is billing reconciliation, but we only have so much time and so much money and so much energy to put into things. And so that's why we would love to solve that problem for our partners. We haven't been able to do it yet because we're spread thin all over the place from a resource perspective. And so, that's really the spirit of Synthesize, which is directly tied to Billable and solving this issue for MSPs. So yeah, it's fun. The lineup is pretty big. We just launched Synthesize weeks ago, and there was, I think, 30 inquiries within an hour from vendors, and now there's a list of hundreds and hundreds of vendors who are all wanting to commit to working on integrations to Gradient and really committed to solving this important issue for MSPs.
So you've solved you've solved billing. We never have to do billing again. I imagine this has to do with an old priest, a new priest. You got to get a chocolate covered rock or walnut or something like that. I forget what they used in Princess Bride.
I guess we don't have the same rules as we have in Tech Bar, because you're jumping into politics and religion, dude.
Yeah. So how do we accomplish this, right? Yeah, like you're pitching this like wonderful utopia. We don't have to worry about billing reconciliation. What does that mean? What does that really mean? How are you accomplishing this?
Well, I think you said it first, correct? And then the question took us off track. We can't solve it. We're not going to solve it alone, as in Gradient. But you said, how are you going to solve it? Gradient is not going to solve it alone. We, as a channel community, are going to solve this together. We're solving it. It's getting better every single day. You should try it out right now. It's free. I know we'll have to talk about that. And then just try it out and let us know, right? Like, we don't know every single product out there that you're using, to run your business. We don't know every single product that's out there that you're servicing your clients with or reselling to your clients. We got a pretty good idea from our experience, but we don't know. And so the first question we have is, how can we do this together? What are the products that we need integrations with? And so you tell us, and then we can get working on some of those as we are. And as you've alluded to, there's some coming very soon that we should or maybe shouldn't talk about. I have no idea, but hey, here we are.
And here's the thing, though, like, I talk to MSPs, and like I remember back from my days, it's not like it costs me anything to sit there and spend 10, 15, 20 hours doing billing. You know what I mean? Time is free. It's not a big deal.
Is it
I
free?
spend all day doing this.
Is it free because you're not taking a salary out of your MSP?
I mean, that's at least what I hear from MSPs. They forget they got to pay themselves. I've been there
Yeah, well, I
myself.
hear that too. And isn't that insane? It doesn't even make financial sense. Go talk to an accountant. But yeah, the more purposeful part of that conversation is you're worth it. You should be taking a significant salary out of your MSP for just the simple fact of the value that you offer and the work that you do. And so, if you add up, how much you cost per hour, then I forget the number that you had referenced. If you were doing 10 hours or whatever it is, a billing reconciliation, that is actually a labor cost. If somebody else is doing it,
Yeah.
then you're paying them to do it. A lot of people outsource it to a bookkeeper or something like that. But that's a cost. That's a direct labor cost. That is, in fact, the largest impact on your COG, labor. And so that directly has impact on your profitability. And so, yes, time no is not free. Sorry, I said yes, I meant no.
And that's the trick, right? Like you talked to, and I love doing this. Like I remember being guilty of this myself. MSPs talk about, oh, I just hit $100,000 a year. I hit $250,000 a year. We're doing great. And I say, cool. What's your staff cost? And, no, we don't have any staff. I go, what's your salary?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not paying myself yet. And then you say, okay, well, but I remember you talking trash because, we go online and we talk trash. That's what the internet's for, right? And talk about that one client that messaged you at 7 o'clock at night and my hourly is worth $325 an hour and blah, blah. Well, if you're spending 10 hours doing billing, you're saying every time you're in billing, it's worth $3,200. Why is the owner doing it? I would definitely get a tool for it or hire somebody to do it. That's not me. You know what I mean? So you can't say both. You can't play both sides of the coin. It's either it's worth money and your time is worth money, or it's not. And I like having free time for my family. I have my 8-year-old that we have plenty of Lego we got to do, and and buy more toys, and I definitely want that to go. I would definitely want that to happen.
Yeah, I'm with you, right? I think, to summarize it, it is time waste. We can agree on that. It is time cost. And then, I mean, we sort of said the opposite at the beginning. We said we loved billing reconciliation, but if we ask the community here, do you love billing reconciliation? You love that stuff? You want some more? You can't wait to get some of that billing reconciliation. We hate this thing, right? We hate it. It's a time waste. It's a time cost. And then there's, of course, the bigger issue, money. We're talking about money here.
So I'm sure you guys have done the studies, right? Like how the average billing, and I see we're getting to like 1:45, so I want to be respectful of people's time, but like, you've done what? Do you know what the average MSP spends on billing? Like the average MSP size, spends hours wise? Is it 10 hours? What is it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we're still discovering that, and it's unfair to go throw those numbers out there. But yeah, if we go back to the survey that we had access there, across hundreds and hundreds of MSPs, that we're so blessed that you gave us this data. 11% said they're spending 10 plus hours, 19 and that's 6 to 10, 33 and that 3 to 6. Whatever it is, we know it's too much. We don't know if we can eliminate it completely. We have a good sense that together we definitely can. And then there's this other factor of, is there money being left on the table? And that's what we're finding is even more impactful, right? Like if an MSP is spending an hour on billing reconciliation, they don't care about the time. They should. It's still an hour that they should have back. But anyways, what we should really be having the discussion on is there an opportunity for us to discover revenue? We spend all this time, energy, and money on acquiring new customers, and that's great. Mostly referrals in this business, which is amazing. You're doing awesome work. And then there's the expansion revenue with the existing customers that we have that we spend a lot of our resources on. What if we discovered that there's money that we're through billing reconciliation in a manual way missing? And those are the stories that I've found most impactful, MSPs that, discovered that they hadn't been charging for
It's
MFA
funny
licenses
it's funny how we talk about automation, and like I see Ashley, talking about she loves automation. I do too. But like, it's funny how we talk about automation, but I don't see a lot of MSPs focusing on building automation for getting this done, right? Like they haven't historically spent the time to do it. And I don't, it drives me nuts because, like, even looking at your previous slide, 33% are spending, which was the majority, right? Between 3 to 6 hours, or 31% 1 to 3 hours. But the average MSP billable rate is 125 an hour. Well, 6 hours at $125 an hour, $720 a month. You normally bill 12 times a month if you're a monthly, an ACE type MSP, more if you're doing projects. But assuming bare minimum of doing that, those 10 hours a month or 6 hours a month, you're talking $9,000 a year. That is a huge amount of money. And most of it's being done by the owner. You know what I mean? And which means it's more than $125 an hour. I hate to tell you guys, but
unless they're not paying themselves.
Yeah, right. The ones that are paying themselves, and like you said, you're missing stuff, right? Like, I know we do audits that death by 1,000 clicks. We do audits at least once a year on most services, if not twice a year on some more heavily used ones, and we still miss stuff even with automation. And you'll find that there's either hundreds or thousands of dollars lost, and it's more dangerous for a smaller MSP, right? Because they don't, let's be honest, I take a $5,000 hit, my CFO is going to yell at me, and since my CFO is my wife, she's going to yell at me at work and at home. But but at the end of the day,
tricky relationship, right?
Like, yeah,
how are your expense reports getting approved? Is that process going well?
Right, but but how many MSPs, like, that $5,000 hit's really going to hurt to different extents, depending on your size. And it's not that hard to screw up, $5,000 in billing. It's really, really easy to do. So
those stories are the most painful, I think, for all of us, right? Like, our initial research was showing about 3 to 10% of an MSP's MRR is being left on the table in the industry on average. And that in itself, if you just take your annual recurring revenue and multiply it by 3 to 10%, that's massive impact there on the business. If we can even just discover and get the awareness, then it's, of course, what do we do with that, right? And I guess the next question is, how are you billing and things like that? But then there's some pretty straightforward, simple strategies on how we can recover the money that we should be paid and getting paid for everything that we're doing, as opposed to spending all the time on expansion of new services and things like that. Get paid for what you're doing now.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've been in situations where I forgot to bill something, and I do an audit and I realized there was 6 months where I hadn't been billing somebody for something, or there was an add-on and we didn't bill them and we forgot. And then that puts you in that really bad situation. Do you go to the client and say, I screwed up, but I need to charge this? Do you eat it? Like, I've been in that situation way too many times. I've also been doing this, it's, for a long time, but that situation sucks. There's no good outcome on that, right? And you're either going to have a pissed off customer saying, why are you billing me now 6 months later? Or, even if they should have been billed or not, doesn't matter. Or you're going to have to eat it. Well, the longer that goes, the more the damage is. And while we're going through these, I'd love to hear in the chat, like, what pain points. I see Tim Golden. What pain points have you guys had in building, right? Like, what mistakes have you had that ended up costing you some money? I'd love to see those stories as we go through this.
Yeah, I mean, the discovery of the revenue and that awareness is a key part of it. It is, you're right, the challenge then of what we do with that discovery. And then I think, we're always looking for opportunities to engage with our customers and increase value. And, I think that there's an opportunity there to have, obviously, what you've indicated and what is true is an uncomfortable conversation. But I don't know, in life, I found, most of those uncomfortable conversations, if we just start that conversation, it actually becomes a lot more of a comfortable conversation. And going back to the trust issue that we talked about, really, that's global, not just in the channel. That's an opportunity to build trust. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. And if you're striving for perfection, you're striving for failure. 100% is not what we should be striving for. We should be striving, maybe for 80, so that we have some room to learn, right? And a mistake in billing is actually an opportunity to have an uncomfortable conversation and right set things. Your customer wants you to serve them. If you're serving them value, they want you to continue serving them value. And that conversation can be quite simple. I screwed up. I'm a human being. You probably want me to stay in business. If I'm not charging you for what I'm supposed to be charging you for, that's my mistake. But can we rectify that? And I would say, I don't know, 100% of the time, I bet your client would understand. They're not perfect. They make mistakes. They're a human being too.
So, we've done a lot of talking. I see you at least have 1 or 2 slides of billable, right?
Yes. Are you going to force me to demo this thing? I don't mean you. Well, I mean our marketing team that put this thing together, because I'm not the right man for the demo job. Sales, not technical.
I don't want marketing yelling at me. I don't want Ashley coming to me later. Marketing spent 2 hours putting together a slide deck for Goldie, and you didn't even show these slides, and I don't want to get yelled at. So,
okay. Well, what my advice here would be, engage with us. We have the technical people to be able to give you a thorough demo. There's also the opportunity with, the free product billable to just try it out for yourself. And then our team, our team that Ashley is really driving will ensure that you just have the best experience. So we don't know what experience is going to be best for you. You've got to let us know. If it is a demo, we'll give you a demo of the product. It's a beautiful thing. But you can also, and I'll give you an opportunity at the end here for you to just go in and really just experience it for free.
So you can say yes to bill. Yeah, I'm stealing from your slides.
Oh, you want me to go? Yeah, you want me to go ahead? I'll go ahead. We are running out of time. I should go there. We talked a bit about Synthesize. So again, we'll just say we introduced Synthesize not to create a huge amount of market confusion, to really support billable. And again, that implied promise of what if we never had to reconcile billing again. That's the mission that we hope you're all going to join us on for free. To go and eliminate this and fully automate it with all of the products, that are out there, because we won't be able to build all those integrations ourselves. But if you let us know which ones are most important to you, we will build those. And then more importantly than that, let your vendors know. They're probably already in line to plug into the API or we might already be in conversation with them, but don't make that assumption. That's where we'll fall short on this promise. You need to talk to us about what's important to you, and you need to talk to your vendors about what's important to you. And then, of course, going back to that trust thing, challenge us to listen, for one, process, but then do something about it. That's where the trust issue has really come from in our industry. But yeah, this is the opportunity to get in there for free. You can scan the QR code there, or you can go to the link that's on the screen, and we might be able to drop that in the chat for you. I can't do it because I'm screen sharing right now.
Simon,
yeah. What about questions? I'm also not able to see. Should I stop sharing my screen or leave this? I'm not.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I'll leave it up there. So, I can already hear like the Huntress team. Don't scan like bad QR. Don't scan like QR codes. But
go to the link.
No. Please do. I mean, we have no. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And so I'm getting here. A Reddit DM. Why put it in YouTube chat when you can Reddit DM me? I'm getting a Reddit DM asking about what existing PSA integrations you have today.
Okay, well, so we've got 8, and I should hopefully not speak out of turn because it's expanding every single day. Go to, there's building train tracks with Alexander. I told you that was something that's coming up after this. My wife has to schedule time for me to build train tracks with my son. But yeah, jump on our website. We've got 8 PSA integrations. You can see them coming across the screen right now. There may already be a 9th. I know there was a 9th in beta at some point, and then a 10th that's talked about. And so this is, again, where you can let us know, hey, you're not integrating with my PSA. That for sure we will prioritize. We're prioritizing all the PSAs. That's what we did first. And so we've got these integrations live. They're amazing. The billing reconciliation is based upon the contracts that you have in the PSA is the first piece. Once you get your PSA connected into billable, then you're going to get visibility into what's in the contracts in your PSA. Then when you take a CSV export from one of your resellers, drag and drop that easily, there's this amazing magic that happens. And then you can see these cards that was on my previous screen, where you can then hopefully start to get that visibility into, are there discrepancies in between, what's in the contracted amount and essentially what I am paying the vendor. And then you can reconcile those, and then of course have that conversation with your customers as you need to. And then we've got a lot of education and tools to help you guys with that communication, and potentially some reports and other content that you can use to ensure you're getting paid for everything that you should be.
And and I get here, I'm getting whatchamacallit, I'm being asked in LinkedIn DM, guys, use the YouTube chat for the love of God. I'm being in LinkedIn DM. It's like
I'm blind. I can't see any of it. So you're telling me.
Nobody can see any of it. They're asking, is it really free? Because you said free, and I'm looking at you don't even have a pricing page. On the main page, it has $0 a month. I'm going to ask, because I know it's going to be asked, what's the catch?
No catch. I think where we've gone potentially wrong and created some confusion in the market up until this point, and we're listening and we're learning, as I've said, it's not free. I guess that's the catch, right? Like, it's free right now. Billable will always be free. Billable Pro is not free. There was never an intention of Billable Pro being free. We originally were testing the market at $49, not per user per month, per MSP per month. And that Billable Pro is when we had integrations, not the PSA integrations. Those are all free. That's in Billable. We'll continue to invest in that. It's on the reseller side. And so when we went to market in November with Billable, we didn't have any integrations. And right now, we don't have any integrations that I'm allowed to talk about, but there may be some coming very soon, and stay tuned. And then, of course, you'll want to pay for it. And what was really enlightening experience for me is we originally priced it at $49 per month, but we didn't have any integrations to offer that Billable Pro product. So of course, people were just experiencing Billable for free, loving it, seeing so much value out of that, wanting to upgrade to Billable Pro. And we were saying, well, you can't really, because we don't have any integrations on the reseller side live yet. But people were like, please let me pay for it. And then they said, 49 is not enough. You got to double that. So we didn't listen to that. We made it 99, which is pretty close to double. And we'll continue increasing the prices if that's going to make you guys happier. But stay tuned. Very soon, there is some integrations that will launch. And then that's where, the revenue stream comes in. And so there's no catch. And there's, that confusion that we're going to clear up, hopefully, now.
That's awesome. I love that. And Ashley saying freemium tools focus on a concept of product-led growth, where your idea is everything you need to see value. And then if you like what you see, you want more, you pay for the next level, like Slack or Miro. And I agree.
Right? I think, product-led growth, the channel is still learning about that, as we're learning about it too. Obviously we have some experts internally and some access to some consultants, and so we're all kind of learning together about this free model. But that's so fair, because going back to the trust issue that we talked about, when you go free, you immediately go, I'm the catch, or I'm the product, or what is happening here? Free doesn't make any sense. And so, our intention is not to be only free. We're going to offer an opportunity forever for you to experience Billable for free. And then when you experience value through that CSV import, and you want that to be automated and not a CSV import, then as the integrations get introduced, then you go, oh, well, that integration is so important to me. I don't want to be doing CSVs forever. Let's go click that button and pay $99 a month. Or if you guys keep telling us that you want to pay more, somebody told us at an event last week that they would spend $50,000 a year on this thing. So we can increase the prices if you guys want. We're trying to do a solid for MSPs.
You're such a nice guy. And you're going to do it for, you're not going to take 50 grand a month. You're going to take $49.99 because you're a guy.
Well, you know me better than that too. I'm a little selfish, right? I mean, I need some money
Yeah.
too. So you were always asking, Goldie, how are you going to get your money out of this? Oh, we're going to get paid. We're just all getting paid more together. This is a $250 billion industry that is worth more. It's worth trillions.
Yeah. Listen, as long as as long as we're all getting the bar tab covered, I think we're good. And with that said, I want to I want to be respectful of your time with Alexander, right?
Yes. Train time.
Yeah. So train time. So do you guys have anything else coming up before I have Simon give our upcoming events?
Do I have anything else coming up? No, but if people
Yeah.
have questions, please engage with me. The best place to do that is on LinkedIn, and then challenge us to continue to bring, selfless experience and then selfish results for all of us, where we make a bunch of cash and get to spend more time with our kids making train sets.
Awesome. Simon, what do we got coming up, dude?
Yeah, so we do have a few events coming up. We just got wrapped up with this awesome webinar. And then we're still sponsoring the Cyber Drain Capture the Flag event that ends on Monday. So if you haven't already, make sure that you're ranking in there. There's some awesome prizes given away by OITVOIP, and Gradient is giving away 6 months of bourbon. So for our Tech Bar fans, make sure that you rank on that. Next week, we're going to be live and online at the CompTIA's Communities and Councils Forums in Chicago, Illinois, 314.
Sorry about that. That was me.
Okay, 314 to 316. Next week on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, we're gonna have the next episode of the Tech Bar podcast with our Florida crew, Tony Francisco and Aaron Bolton. That should be a good one. And then at the end of the month, March 24th at 1 p.m., we also have a partner first, the top 10 compliance questions for new VoIP resellers, and that's with CLA. So make sure you stay tuned, you subscribe, you like, comment, all that, to stay up to date with everything that we have going on with the channel.
And with that said, thank you so much to the OIT family. Thank you, Goldie, for being on. Drew, Ashley, Tim Golden. It's the first live stream we ever have two golds in the same chat. That's pretty cool.
He was on Tech Bar. He was on Tech Bar.
Yeah, he was on Tech Bar too.
Oh,
that's true. Yeah.
I guess I didn't understand the question, and now I do. So ASCII KC is our next one. We got the team at Channel Pro Jersey right now, and there's lots and lots of engagements. Mail Protector Roadshow coming up. There's just endless stuff. Obviously, we're engaging in everything that we can in the channel. So jump into LinkedIn, get connected with us, and let's have some fun, right? I mean, why are we doing all this if we're not having some fun?
Absolutely. I expect train pictures later this week or next week, man. So
coming your way. Thank you.
Well, Goldie, thank you so much. OIT fam, thank you so much. Until next time, take care of yourself. We appreciate you.